Training in Sunday.
Good morning.
Sunday.
Good morning.
Okay.
Okay, are you ready?
Ready.
Okay. Okay, let us begin our Metta Meditation. May all beings be happy and secure. May all beings have happy minds. Whatever living beings there may be, without exception, weak or strong, long, large, medium, short, subtle or gross, visible or invisible, living near or far, born or coming to birth, may all beings have happy minds. Let no one deceive another, nor despise anyone anywhere. Neither from anger nor ill will should anyone wish harm to another. As a mother would risk her own life to protect her only child, even so towards all living beings, one should cultivate a boundless heart. One should cultivate for all the world a heart of boundless loving friendliness, above, below, and all around, unobstructed, without hate or resentment, whether standing, walking, sitting, lying down, or whenever awake. One should develop this mindfulness. This is called divinely dwelling here, not falling into erroneous views, but virtuous and endowed with vision, removing desires for sensual pleasures. One comes never again to birth in the womb. With this metta thought, let us begin our practice. As we mentioned in the past, every day, let us focus our mind on our breathing. As we breathe in, we notice the breath touching our nostrils, reaching lungs and expanding lungs, and then expanding the lower abdomen. As we breathe out, we notice the contraction of lower abdomen, contraction of chest area, and the breath leaving our nostrils. As we breathe in and out like this, we also notice a brief pause between inhaling and exhaling. As we mentioned, we don't have to exaggerate that little pause or manipulate it without trying to control breath or hold breath. We just pay undivided mindful attention to the breath. Mindful attention is the attention without greed, hatred, or delusion. Pure, simple attention to see what is really happening. And then we feel the breath, we perceive the breath, and there is a will to breathe, volition, and there is consciousness, or we are conscious of breathing. As we breathe in, all these feelings, perceptions, thought, and consciousness change. When we breathe out, they change again. Every time we breathe in and out, form, feeling, perception, thought, and consciousness change. When the breath changes, all these changes change together with the breath. And then there is nothing special. Everything is moving, changing in the inner state of flux. And then we see the mind trains itself to let go of what is changing. There's a very natural development in our mind. We don't deliberately have to do anything to let go of these experiences because they go away by themselves. And then arises very beautiful moment in our mind to notice this flow without any hitch, without any stumbling block. And this is what is called letting go of our greed, which is a hindrance. And then arises a moment of awareness that is leaving everything, and there is nothing to hold on to, nothing to be disappointed, because things are naturally changing. And then whatever resentment, anger remains will leave the mind. There arises a feeling of metta, real friendliness, because the body is relaxed, the breath is relaxed, the mind is relaxed, there is no uptightness, and therefore the mind becomes naturally feeling friendly. And then as we notice that we are practicing this meditation, especially this time, we started in March, hoping and wishing all those who are suffering to be free from suffering. There arises compassion in our heart. When these three stages are grown, our mind will be filled with joy, and there our restlessness and worry fades away, and then joy leads to happiness, our sleepiness and drowsiness fade away, and our doubt fade away. Doubt about anything of our practice will no longer be there. And when all this happens, greed fades away, resentment fades away, and restlessness and worry fade away, sleepiness and drowsiness fade away, doubt fades away. These are called hindrances. They fade away. The mind grows at the same time, is very beautifully to lead up to gaining concentration. When we gain concentration, the concentrated mind can reflect back on whatever happening to us. What happens to us is our feeling changing, perception changing, thoughts changing, consciousness changing. Everything is constantly changing. With the concentrated state of mind, we see even the subtlest changes taking place in our mind and body, in our five aggregates. This, friend, is very real, true development in our meditation. Nothing artificial, nothing we have to bring from outside, all happen within us while we are living. And other times we are not aware of them. Only when we pay attention, they become conspicuous, clear in our mind. That is why the Buddha said, Manasikara sambhava sabbe dhamma, all mental phenomena becomes discernible, arise when we pay attention. When we don't pay attention, even though they are there, we don't know. And with this, let us continue our practice. dukkha patta cha nidukkha, bhaya patta cha nibhaya, soka patta cha nisoka, hontu sabbe pipanino. May the suffering be free from suffering. May the fear-struck be free from fear. May the grieving be free from grief. So too may all beings be. With this metta wish, let us continue our morning session, answering questions first, and then we continue to practice.
So Bhante, you touched on this yesterday, so it's hyper relevant. What is the difference between Pitti and Sukha? I have been told that Pitti is a pleasurable bodily feeling. Sometimes vibrations are felt in the body, and that Sukham is a mental pleasure. But if they are both Chitta Sankara, then both should be mental feelings. Is that correct?
They both are mental feeling, that is correct.
And the difference between the two?
Different between
Pitti and Sukha?
between these two. Piti is in anticipation of what is happening. You have piti. I call it joy. Some translate it as rapture. One time I gave an example of a person traveling in the desert. When you travel in a desert, it is very hot, no water, no shade, no food, no road signs, nothing. And then he sees suddenly a person appearing with wet hair, wet clothes, fresh face, and then he would ask him, how come you have fresh face, wet hair, wet clothes in this desert? Look at me. So the other person would answer, Mister, I passed an oasis, a little lake in the desert, and I swam it, drank a lot of fresh water, ate lotus bud and roots, relaxed on the bank, and I'm coming. Hearing this person feels joy or pity. As he approaches towards the lake, he sees birds flying towards that place. As he goes, then his joy increased, pity increases. As he approaches, he can hear children jumping, playing, and talking. Then his pity increased more, and then he goes and jumps into the water, and then he also swims, eats lotus bud and lotus roots, and relax on the beach, on the bank. When he was relaxing on the bank, he would say, ah, what a happiness. That is happiness. He fulfilled he completed his joy, and now he completed his happiness. So the happiness is fulfillment, joy is before that, in anticipation of that happiness arises. That is the difference.
So Pitti is anticipated joy and Sukham is fulfilled joy.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Bhante. For the seventh step of Anapanasati, experiencing the mental formations, do we simply observe the rise and fall of different feelings? Or are these the same feelings, Pitti and Sukha? We do not have to volitionally maintain the feelings of Pitti and Sukha. Is that correct?
Yes, it arises, it also passes away. So when it arises, you experience it. When it passes away, you experience it. You don't have to do anything other than seeing it appearing and disappearing.
Okay, third question from the same person. Does the term mental conditioner mean that the Sukha and Pitti feelings condition or affects the mind?
Yes, mental condition, as we already mentioned, sanya, vedana, perceptions and feelings are called mental conditioner, mind conditioner, chitta sankhara. Yes.
Let's read this. I remember seeing this yesterday, Bhante. Can you please speak on the rising popularity and confusion of the teachings on non-duality and how it is not the teachings of the Buddha?
Okay. The world has duality, and that is called attita, nattita, existing and non-existing. And these are two extremes. Existing leads to self-indulgence. Nattita, or absence of everything, leads to self-motivation. No, the other way around. Nattita, self. When we see attita, we continue mortifying the body. Nattita, when that means nothing, not existing, leads to self-indulgence, because self-indulgence is a materialism. The materialist thinks there is nothing, and therefore we have to enjoy ourselves in this life and then finish. Those who believe in the attita, existing always mortifies the body to have better life in future. Like this, these two, attita and attita, leads to two extremes. Buddha avoided these two extremes. In fact, in Radha Sanyutta and Sanyutta Nikaya, even Buddha said this world mostly think of attita and nattita, existing and non-existing, and therefore the Buddha taught the Dhamma without falling into any of these extremes. In the middle, what is the middle there? Dependent origination. When something arises, you see existing. When something passes away, you see non-existing. Existing when it arises, non-existing when it is not there. It passes away. Imasmin sati idang hoti. Imasmin asati idang nahoti. This is the dependent origination formula, and that is what the Buddha taught us. When it arises, when it arises, when it is not there, it is not there. So we cannot grasp only one and discard the other because they both exist and non-exist. And it happens so quickly. That is the nature of impermanence. When things are impermanent, you cannot say exist or non-exist. There has to be something to be impermanent. When it arises, it becomes impermanent, it disappears. So, this is the truth that Buddha has asked us to practice, see as they really are. Arising, passing away, arising, passing away, arising. Even in between arising and passing away, whatever is altering. So, therefore, seeing this reality is what makes us liberated from suffering. Okay? You cannot dispute this teaching, dependent origination teaching. Okay, next question.
Next question. How does ignorance transfer between one life and another to drive consciousness into a new existence?
Okay. We don't have to do anything for ignorance to exist. We have to do something to get rid of ignorance, because ignorance arises along with birth. And we don't have to transfer ignorance on one life to another. When we are born with ignorance. It doesn't come from previous life. What we can do is increasing our wisdom, seeing this impermanence, unsatisfactoriness and selflessness now in this very life, we reduce our ignorance. And when we don't do it, we continue to remain ignorant, and in next life also we will be ignorant, next life we will be ignorant. So we have to break this cycle of ignorance through with the practice of mindfulness, developing our wisdom. See mindfulness. With mindfulness, we must see rising, falling, appearing and disappearing, dependent origination, and things are changing all the time. And therefore, we don't have to do anything to transfer ignorance from one life to another. Yeah. Next question.
Bhante, thank you so much for answering the questions on impingement contact and designation contact last week. Would you please provide the names of the suttas and the Nikaya reference numbers where these are mentioned?
They are mentioned in the Nikaya, Mahanidana Sutta. Mahanidana Sutta may be Sutta number 15 of Digha Nikaya. And number I may not remember correctly, but the sutta is definitely Mahanidana Sutta, the great discourse on causation. A great discourse on causation in the Digha Nikaya. Okay?
Thank you, Bhante.
You're welcome.
The next one, this is a basic question, Bhante, but can you please give some useful tools to calm down the forever moving monkey mind during meditation?
You see, to calm down monkey mind, you watch the monkey mind without putting more fuel to monkey mind. If you put more and more fuel, instead of putting water, you keep increase in the fire. So look at the whole bundle of monkey mind without picking one or another. Don't pick anything. You just see the mind is not, that is the nature of mind. The nature of mind is to just like really, that is why this very beautiful word you use, monkey mind. Monkey mind. Monkey's nature is holding on to something and let it go, and hold on to something and let it go, it, and then jump it another. We sometimes think that he is going to fall down, but he is so trained from childhood, from babyhood, to do this very quickly. Our mind is exactly like this. So, remember, the monkey doesn't stay in one place holding on to one thing. He keeps jumping, 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 jumping. Similarly, when it happens to your mind, just pretend that you are a monkey and you are not holding on to one thing, but you are moving from object to object. When you meditate, when this happens, you see the whole thing as one unit with many activities. Many activities means it's a very good subject for you to meditate. Many movement, many activities means that nothing is permanent in your mind. You see everything appearing, disappearing, appearing, disappearing, appearing, disappearing. Thoughts, memories, sentences, words, names, places, people, food, sound, smell, taste, touch that you have had in the past. All these are keep coming to your mind, working very hard like a devil's workshop, like big factory, big machine. They all are working. That is a very good situation for you to see impermanence. So that is how you have to, when you see impermanence. But the thing is that you should not hang on to one thing with greed, hang on to one thing with hatred. Don't get confused, but see this happening within this monkey mind. And when you see this happening, very quickly they are changing. Don't try to hold on to one of them. You will be frustrated because none of them can stay in your mind for 2 consecutive moments. They are changing. You just look at this changing nature, impermanent nature. See how many words, don't count words, don't hang on to words, concepts, ideas, perceptions, memories, don't hang on to them. Let them come and go, let them come and go, let them come and go. Then the mind gets tired. Mind gets tired, and then mind will slow down, and all this monkey mind nature subside, fade away, disappear. And therefore, I like to recommend anybody who has monkey mind to use it as an object of their monkey mind is difficult to maintain if you are going to gain concentration. It is sort of an enemy of concentration. But the enemy of concentration you can use for vipassana, mindfulness practice. In the mindfulness practice, activities are important. You must welcome to see how quickly mind is changing, how quickly things are changing. Your perception, your thoughts, ideas, feelings, words, sentences, seeing, and so forth, that who have experienced through your six senses, they come back, they are in your memory bank. So the memory bank open one file. When you open file, within that file there are many files. And you open one and then more files. And open another one, more files. Just like in your computer, you arrange your documents, put them in a file, a folder, and then put the folder into another folder, and that into another folder, and that into another folder. So when you open one folder, you can find another folder and open another one. And in one folder there are many files. Open another folder, many files. The mind is like that. It has collected so many things. And here it keeps opening and closing very quickly. There you will see impermanence in all the files. All the files are impermanent. And I think that is a very good training for you to understand, very good subject for you to understand impermanence. The monkey mind is very good time, very good for personal meditation, meditation to practice impermanence. This is not a joke. This is not a joke. I laughed because how beautiful it is, how meaningful it is for us to use as an object of meditation. If everything is just like a rock, there is nothing for personal meditators to do. There must be something happening for the vipassana meditators to do, to observe, watch, experience impermanence. Okay?
Thank you, Bhante. I think Peter has a question.
Oh.
So let's see if I can.
Good morning,
Peter,
Bhante.
do you want to go? I just unmuted you. Yeah.
Yes. Good morning. If ignorance does not transfer, what does transfer from life to life, if anything?
Now, life to life transfers our karma. Karma is our, as we recite, our inheritance, our property, our relatives, and so forth, and whatever wholesome or unwholesome we commit, that is our property. That transfers from life to life. When we say transfer, it can sometimes mislead us, thinking that something solid, material, going from one life to another, one place to another. It is not anything material, solid, something that goes from. It is the karmic, we must say, habit, karmic force, karmic accumulation will produce their results in the next life. It happens, I mean, the gap between one life and another is inconceivable because it happens so quickly. And therefore, within such a quick event, you cannot see anything solid. So I must say, what transfers is the karma, which in forms of consciousness. Consciousness itself is not something permanent. it happens so quickly with all this power. It's like a power pack of karma. When we use the power pack, we should not mean something solid, but for want of better terms, I use this term. Yeah, that is why it is called kammang bijan, vinyanam bijan, kammang ketang, tanna sineho. Vijnana is the bija. Bija means seed. Karma is the field. Craving or greed is the moisture to nourish the karma, what you call vijnana karmic beach, vijnana beach, bija, the seed. So that is what is happening from one life to another. Okay.
Nina, would you like to ask your question?
Yes. Good morning, Bhante. I would like to know if could you basically could you please explain a little bit more about the Pancha Upadana and Skandha?
Panchupadana Khanda, form, feeling, perceptions, volitional formations, and consciousness. These are the Pancha Khanda. Upadana Khanda are the same, and those who have not attained arahanthood are attached to these five categories, five groups, five what you call skandhas. They are called panchakhanda. As long as they are attached to them, the five aggregates are clinging aggregates to them. Five aggregates are the aggregates subject to clinging only for them, those who cling to them. But those who have attained arahanthood, these aggregates are not clinging aggregates to them. They are not subject to clinging for them, only for them. And therefore, Panchakhanda, all enlightened person also have. Buddha had it, Arahants had it. But the difference is that they don't cling to them. And therefore they don't call, or we don't call their aggregates Pancha Upadana Khanda. Upadana means clinging. But all others who have not attained that state, their aggregates are called Upadana, Pancha Upadana Khanda. Pancha means five, Upadana means clinging. That is the difference. This difference you can see very clearly in Itivuttaka. In many, many places you can see that. Okay?
You want one more?
Okay. I think we don't have one. Is there any question there?
There's lots.
Can you pick one easy one?
Yeah, very easy one.
Mm-hmm.
If one has 1 hour per day to practice, what do you suggest? Just meditation or combination of meditation and sutta study?
I think if you meditate within that 1 hour, it would be very good to see what you have read in suttas. Otherwise, if you keep spending time for reading suttas, then you don't know what is happening in you. In other words, the most important is the practice. And if you have more, you keep practicing. If whenever you are tired of practicing, still you have time, you read. or listen to Dhamma talks or discuss only Dhamma. Otherwise, practice is more important than the reading. If you have only 1 hour a day, I would say, you have only 1 hour for any all other 23 hours you are busy sleeping and working and traveling and cooking, cleaning, bathroom and all these things. You are busy. 23 hours. Only 1 hour is available for you to do anything. You can have half an hour meditation and half hour reading. Divide it between these two. Okay?
Thank you, Bhante.
So, friends, with this, we like to conclude this morning session. And tomorrow I will continue my talk on dependent origination. The aspect that I have started or I have been talking on was feeling a part of mentality. We repeated this many times, but there are some other aspects that I have not covered. I don't think I can cover all the aspects, but at least some main factors, main aspects I can bring up even in tomorrow's talk. With this, we want to conclude and wish all those who are suffering from COVID-19 very, very unfortunately they suffer. We want to wish them to be free from their suffering very quickly and return to their normal health. And those who are suffering and grieving for over the death of their relatives, may they be free from that grief. And those who are helping these people in many ways, in especially doctors and nurses and hospital staffs, all those who are dedicating their life for helping these people. Some of them even risk their own life. Some I have heard even got this COVID-19 virus and even passed away. And still these people are very wonderful people, and we want them to live long in good health and continue their very compassionate service. And there are some others who are trying to financially support them in many places, and may they continue their very wonderful, generous practice. And there are some others who have been trying to discover some vaccine. May they be successful very quickly. And there are people who are leaders, and some leaders are very compassionate, far-sighted, wise, and others I wish to be compassionate and wise to make right decision to help all these people. With this metta wish, I want to conclude this morning's session. Thank you very much for participating, and I hope you continue your practice.